Hi there, welcome to a new video. I am really excited for today's topic because we are going to be talking all about the biohacking and self-care practices that I have been incorporating for the last 6.5 to 7 months on my glow up to 40. Hi there, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Jessica and I'm a functional nutritionist. And here in my space, we focus on all things healthy living and making it really attainable and sustainable. So over the summer, I shared how I am on a journey. I am on my glow up to 40. I will be turning 40 years old in August. And on this quest, I have really been diving deep to feel like my healthiest and best version of myself. I said, for the last decade, it has been dedicated to growing my family. I got pregnant 2 weeks before my 30th birthday with my son. And during this time, during the last decade, I would say all of my 30s has been focused on growing my family, having young children, and then of course, growing my nutrition practice and my business. This is the content side of things, but really growing my nutrition practice. And in the last 10 years, I, of course, have a ton of practices as a functional and holistic nutritionist. I have a ton of practices that help me feel vibrant and healthy. And of course, focusing on eating nutrient-dense foods is always top of mind for me. But to be honest with you, I have felt as though I can do more. I have felt as though I'm ready to kind of come into Jessica 2.0. I would say that from the age of 24 to 30, I was in peak shape. Like I was working out, I was doing yoga at a minimum of 5 days per week. I was going to wellness retreats. I was getting massages. I was doing lymphatic drainage. I was dry brushing twice a day. I was oil pulling twice a day. I was doing all of the wellness practices that I had a plethora of time for in my 20s before I had children. And then some of those wellness practices got put on pause because, as I mentioned, I was focusing on other things outside of myself. And now that I'm coming back to myself as like Jessica 2.0, Jessica 40 and up, I have a whole different perspective. And I think it's a really beautiful thing because I feel like I have a little bit more 2020 vision on what's important. It's no longer counting goji berries and focusing on doing the perfect handstand in yoga. For me, it's about feeling strong physically and of course mentally. It's about bringing peace and joy into my day-to-day routine. And of course, I want to do that healthfully and I want to do that through feeling like my best self, but that doesn't necessarily mean a six-pack or having the body that I had at 26 years old. It just means that I know I'm pouring into my own cup. So today's video is all focused on self-care and biohacking practices that have really been moving the needle for me. I made a list on my phone, but first we're going to be doing a peppermint balm. This is like a weird side note, but I feel like I need it. I did post an Instagram reel and a YouTube short. I will have them both linked for you in the description box down below. But you just take 1 to 2 drops of peppermint oil into your hand, rub it together really fast, just for like 10 to 15 seconds. And then you're going to inhale. Honestly, it wakes you right up. It feels like my brain, all of the lights are suddenly turned on. I'm also drinking peppermint tea. I felt like I just needed a quick little boost before we got into my self-care list and tips. And to be honest with you, I feel like that's kind of part of it, recognizing what I need when I need certain things to help my body feel its best. And that's part of this whole journey and glow up to 40. So I do have a list of things because I've been tracking on a daily basis or on a near daily basis the things I'm doing that are actually paying off. So this is all like self-care biohacking focused. If you are a subscriber of my channel, you will not be surprised to hear this, but first and foremost, it has to be mineral spritzers. I've been sharing spritzers all over my YouTube channel. You're seeing B-roll footage on the screen now. all over my YouTube channel and all over my Instagram. And I did see a question on a recent YouTube video, like, do you drink alcohol? To be honest with you, ever since bringing Spritzers into my life, I consume a lot less alcohol. Not that I was drinking a lot of alcohol in general, but there will be like 1, 2, 3 weeks that pass by that I don't have a sip of alcohol. I don't even think about it because I am so in love with making Spritzers. And so Spritzers, mocktails, call it whatever you would like. But here in my space, I call them like herbal Spritzers because we are adding so many nutrient-dense ingredients, from silica to minerals to magnesium to cell food to rosemary to basil, you name it. We are chalking these beautiful little drinks full of a ton of nutrients. And I honestly feel like they bring so much joy into my life inadvertently. I didn't even realize it. But it's the experience of making the Spritzer. Then it's the joy of decorating the rim and putting it together so that it looks beautiful. Sure, sometimes I share them on Instagram. Sometimes I share them here. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it's just for myself and for Kaya. And to be honest with you, the kids are absolutely obsessed as well. Then I'm getting the creative and visual appeal of actually building this beautiful drink and then enjoying it. So the taste is above anything else. And if you've tried any of my Spritzer recipes, let me know in the comment section down below. But these Spritzers, when I'm drinking them, I'm like, gosh, this tastes so good. I thoroughly am enjoying my experience. And other than that, I'm bringing in so many nutrient-dense ingredients and hydration into my body. And it's just a really refreshing and rewarding way to kind of unwind at the end of the day. So I have to say that on my glow up to 40 in the last 6.5, 7 months, but honestly, over the past year, Spritzers have brought so much peace and joy and comfort into my routine that I feel like they have truly moved the needle because I'm getting in a ton of nutrients and extra hydration and more than anything, but really this kind of like unexpected joy at the end of my day that I really find myself yearning and looking forward to. Okay, continuing with beverages, just so we can get these two out of the way. On the days when it's freezing cold, like -degrees, or it's pouring down rain, or there's a ton of snow happening, I'm craving something that's a little bit more warming when I'm preparing dinner. When I was making Spritzers, I have to say that I've been loving drinking bone broth, and this is nothing new. I've shared this a ton here on my channel, but I have been loving consuming bone broth while I prepare dinner. It's a really beautiful way to prime my digestive system, and because we're on our glow up to 40, when we're talking Spritzers and minerals, you're going to get a ton of beautiful minerals in bone broth. You're going to get amino acids, glycine, which is beautiful for our hair, our skin, our nails, our digestive system, which is our second brain, and also closely linked to our skin health. But not to mention that, it's just a really beautiful and comforting way to warm up my digestive system while I'm chopping the vegetables, while I'm preparing the protein, while I'm sauteing things or getting things into the oven. When I'm sipping on that bone broth, we're going to use the teacup here as like a prop and an example. Obviously, it's not bone broth. When I'm sipping on that warm, comforting, nourishing drink, and then at the same time, it does curb any cravings. It also helps me from overeating. Maybe we're having a dinner which you girls know, I love some pasta. I'm not scared of carbohydrates, but I do find that sipping on this beautiful, rich source of protein, because protein has been such a huge focus for me over the last 6.5, 7 months. But while I'm sipping on this beautiful source of protein and glycine, amino acids, and minerals, it is really helpful for my body to not overconsume foods when potentially I'm not as hungry as I may think. And it's honestly just such a beautiful self-care practice. So speaking of skincare, there's 2 things that I've been heavily focused on. One is tretinoin, and I've mentioned this quite a few times. So this is a prescription version of a retinol. So I am on a tretinoin journey because, as I said, I haven't ventured into the world of Botox and or fillers. So I'm doing everything possible to kind of keep my skin from progressing faster than it should. I am not scared of aging. I am grateful. Honestly, I feel more excited going into 40 than I did going into 30, which I mean, I guess ask me again in August, but I just feel really grateful for all of the life experiences I've had up until today, all of the personal growth and all of the professional growth that I've had in the last decade. So I'm excited about aging, but I want to maintain the integrity of my skin. I want to do everything I possibly can to continue to have a youthful, vibrant look, but age appropriate. I hope that makes sense. So I am on a tretinoin journey to kind of help my skin maintain its integrity and to help prevent, any excessive aging, and to honestly help with any of the skin aging that I did in my early 20s in college when I was going to the Hex and the tanning beds every single day, 7 days a week in 2002. I mean, to be honest with you, probably from like 1999 to 2005, I spent all of those years in the Hex and in the tanning beds, as I'm sure many of us did. So I feel like the tretinoin has really been helping me with any sunspots or sun damage that I've had, and to help me with skin turnover, to help this go a little bit faster. Now, being on a tretinoin journey, this leads me to my next self-care / biohacking practice, and that is to pair it with castor oil externally. So I have talked about castor oil. I've been using castor oil for well over a decade, and I know that it has gained a ton of popularity lately. I always say that castor oil reminds me of like the 1970s practices of when you would go to like the corner store and they'd be like, oh, we've got this happening on our skin. They'd be like, just put castor oil on it. It is one of like the oldest, like most hippie practices that is making a comeback. But I will say, if you are on a tretinoin journey, or if you're using retinol and you are experiencing high photosensitivity, castor oil is your new best friend. There's two different ways you can use it. One, as a barrier before you put on your tretinoin or retinol, or you can use it after, or the sandwich method, where you can layer castor oil, tretinoin, then castor oil again. This has been so helpful for me. On those months when my skin has gotten really dry and I've needed a little extra assistance, I have actually put the castor oil on first, then the tretinoin, then the castor oil again. Then in months when my skin is able to tolerate the tretinoin a little bit more, I'm just putting it on after I put the tretinoin on. And it has been so incredible for my overall skin health. Now, also, if you are a subscriber of my channel, you know I've been on a hair journey where my hair used to be extremely dark, and then I wanted to remove all of that dark and get to more of like a regular brown color. Well, through that, I had to strip all of that dark color out of my hair, to which we were having to chop like tons and tons and tons of my hair off. It was breaking, it was molting, it went through the ringer. For the last 2 years, thankfully, we have now reached the point of where the color I wanted my hair to be. And on this journey, I've actually been using castor oil as a mask before I shower. So I put rosemary oil on the scalp up here at the top to help with growth. And then I've been using castor oil on the damaged parts of my hair and letting that sit for like 20 to 30 minutes before I shampoo my hair. And oh my goodness, it has been helping my hair tremendously with the amount of breakage and shedding that I have been seeing, just because it's building up that integrity that I have in the hair strand and the hair follicle. Another self-care / hormone biohack that I've been doing, that's actually a practice I have brought back in over a decade later, is castor oil packs. So I was doing castor oil packs around 26, 27 years old, just to get my body ready for pregnancy. So right after Kai and I got engaged, I was working really hard for 1 to 2 years prior to getting pregnant with Ronan to get my body ready for that beautiful endeavor. And so I was really focusing on castor oil packs like 3 to 4 times per week. And then I did get pregnant, so I discontinued the use of castor oil packs. I nursed him for 2 years, so I still had discontinued the use of castor oil packs. And then life got busy, and then I got pregnant again, and then I had Sawyer. And a little bit after I had Sawyer, I was using the castor oil pack, I would say like 5 years ago, on and off for maybe 9 months to a year. And then you get busy, right? As moms, we know, or as women, we know how busy life can get. And I just kind of put it to the side. So on this glow up to 40, I'm really focusing on nourishing my lymphatic system and supporting my detox pathways. I have talked openly here on my channel how I do tend to have a sluggish lymphatic system. It's just in my genetics. My mom has a sluggish lymphatic system. My nana had a sluggish lymphatic system. It's just something that's in my genetics. So when I am not hyper-focused on doing my dry brushing, rebounding, or doing the vibration plates, or helping my body aid in lymphatic drainage through herbs that I'm consuming, that I'm drinking, or practices like a castor oil pack, I can notice that I feel a little bit run down. So now I have gotten back into the habit of a bit more time. Sawyer's in school full time. She's in kindergarten now. I have a bit more time where I'm not working so late at night. I'm not working super early in the morning. So I've brought back a few of these self-care practices, which is why I said in my first video I filmed about my glow up to 40, it really feels like the stars have aligned, that this was Sawyer's first year of kindergarten. This was the first time in a decade that I'm back to having a 5-day work week without having somebody home. So I did work from home when I worked at Kind Healthy Snacks, but Ronan was home with a nanny. And when he did go to preschool, it wasn't 5 days a week. My mom would be here 2 days with him, and I also would be working. So I, of course, would hear him. I would step out. I would help when I had to. I would help when I could. So this is the first time in 10 years that there has been 5 days of the week, even though for the last 2 months, we really haven't had a full week of school with snow days and sick days. But it does feel like the stars have aligned for me to bring in some of these beautiful practices again. So a little hack with the castor oil pack, because I know it is oh so viral. And again, I will have my favorite castor oil and castor oil pack for you linked in the description box down below, because it has gone viral for helping assist in beautiful hormone harmony and bringing balance back to the endocrine system. One thing I will say, you also should ease yourself into using castor oil packs, and you will probably get extremely deep restful sleep. And I know we've been talking about minerals a lot in this video, and that is for good reason, because as we age and just as a human in general, we deplete our minerals on a daily basis. And if we are not conscientious about replacing those minerals, it can really wreak havoc, and we will notice it more and more as we age. And so vitamin D synthesis, we know that vitamin D is actually a hormone and a hormone precursor. But if we are vitamin D deficient, we are most likely magnesium deficient, because we need magnesium to fully synthesize our vitamin D. And so if you're using castor oil packs, you'll probably notice that you're getting really great sleep. And if you want to get the best sleep of your entire life, I of course always recommend adding in the Biooptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough. The Biooptimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough contains all 7 forms of elemental magnesium in one convenient capsule. So I like to take one of these in the morning for brain health, for cognition, and for energy. I take one in the afternoon with a little bit of herbal tea, which is right about this time. And then I take 2 before bed, and I sleep like a rock, with or without the castor oil pack. But when I pair the magnesium with the castor oil pack, it is lights out. And I have said for over the last 2 years that once I added in the magnesium breakthrough, I got 30% more deep, restful sleep just by adding in this one thing. And on my glow up to 40, I want to feel energized to add in these practices. I want to feel rested, that I have enough to give to my family and also give to myself. We know as women, sleep deprivation can hold us back from doing so many things. It can hold us back from making nutrient-dense meals. It can hold us back from moving our body and getting in a cardiovascular exercise. It can hold us back from wanting to feel motivated to make that energizing spritzer and to enjoy that experience when we're feeling sleep deprived. And one of the easiest things that you can do is include the magnesium breakthrough from Biooptimizers, that lift in sleep. And so many of you, you will see in the comment section down below, so many of you have also felt the same thing. So when I'm adding back in practices like the castor oil on my skin, but also the castor oil pack For detoxification, I'm always sure to add in the magnesium breakthrough. It's something I take every single day, 3 times a day, and it's a product that truly has changed my life. So if you want to try the magnesium breakthrough from Biooptimizers, I will have my link and my discount code for you in the description box down below, as well as the first pinned comment. So as I approach 40 and knowing my health history of having a sluggish lymphatic system, I want to do everything I can to assist my liver in detoxification. So I like to do a castor oil pack 3 to 4 times per week. You can do it when you're sleeping. You can do it as you walk around, because I will link the one I have and the one that I use in the description box down below. But it is really beautiful because it does strap around. It doesn't tie, it has Velcro, so it stays in place. I like to leave it on for about an hour or overnight, an hour with a heat pack, or overnight if you're not going to be using heat. And I've been layering it with my next self-care practice, which is the sauna. I have been using the sauna now for a minimum of 3 days a week. I'm really trying my best to get closer to 4 to 5 days per week on this Glow Up to 40. And our sauna does have red light therapy as well, but just sweating because I have been working out and I've been lifting heavier weights, and the soreness is very, very real. And so in order to help my body feel its best, in order to help my body recover faster, of course, using the sauna has been extremely helpful. So the sauna, of course, aids in detoxification. It elevates your heart rate and gives you nearly a cardiovascular feeling when it comes to aerobic exercise. So you can get into a sauna. It does not replace exercise, but you can get into a sauna and get similar effects as doing a cardiovascular exercise. So I've been loving using the sauna to help with overall detoxification, getting my heart rate up, and again, opening up those detox pathways through the lymphatic system and through my skin. So I hope that you all enjoyed today's video. I hope that you're able to bring in some of these self-care practices into your routine, whether you're turning 40, whether you're turning 30, or you're turning 60. We are all so beautiful, and there's so much vitality inside of us, regardless of the phase of life that we're in. And I hope that you feel empowered to bring in new practices and new routines, and potentially evaluate your current routine and see what is and is not working, because oftentimes we get stuck on this hamster wheel doing the same thing day in and day out, and we think that there's no space and no room for anything else. When in actuality, when we can see things that are no longer serving us, remove that from our plate and bring in some beautiful practices that will help us feel more vibrant and more energized and more at peace, regardless of what age we are glowing up to. So if you liked today's video, you can let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click, that way you don't miss a single video. And I hope to see you back here next Thursday.